give your dollar a squeezy. The girl's got the answer, you better believe me. Take it from Tara. Take it from Tara. Take it from Tara. Take it from Tara.
And good evening on this July 15th, a beautiful Monday night with 92 degrees, and holy smoke, has it been a roaster today. I'm Tara Bassett, and this is Taken from Tara. We are so glad to have you with us tonight. This is sponsored by ABC Security and Meridian Acupuncture, and we thank them both for their support of Crescent Hill Radio. You can listen to Crescent Hill Radio either on the AM channel 1650 as you're driving through, or you can pick us up anywhere there is internet or Wi-Fi. TuneIn Radio on your smartphone is a great way to access Crescent Hill Radio and Take It From Tara every Monday night. And you can also look up all of our archived shows on YouTube, which is great. So we are very excited to have a great show for you tonight. Margaret Heron-Kerr is here to talk insurance, what you need and what you don't. Your environmental road trip is Julie and Ben Evans' brainchild, and you're going to be learning more about it this hour. Derby City Dog Rescue is here with a beautiful baby. And in light of the very, very sad goings-on over the weekend with Corey Monteith's death, the star of Glee, we have asked Sharon Cecil to come in and talk to us about when children grieve and how to explain the death of basically a huge teen idol to your kids who might be curious about what happened to this young man who was at the top of the world, and unfortunately his life ended at age 31. And Rusty Bladen's great music is going to be shared throughout the show on Take It From Tara. Welcome back, Rusty.
Well, thanks for having me.
So glad to have you with us. And the reason that you're here tonight specifically is because you've got some really awesome things coming up in your future. And before I let you play, I want to talk to you just about this one particular thing. July the 27th, the Madison Milton Bridge Celebration Concert is taking place in Madison, Indiana at the Bicentennial Park, and it's going to be at 7 p.m. So you're going to be doing a brand new song that's going to be included on your album, and you're going to debut it here tonight.
Oh, I'll be happy to. It was actually the city of Madison commissioned me to write this song about the bridge.
Wonderful.
And we're really looking forward to the 27th when we can debut it live with the full band.
Oh, I think that's going to be fantastic. And this is a song called Brand New Bridge, which should be great fun. Looking forward to it. You've been releasing a lot of albums over the years. You can go to Rusty Bladen, that's Bladen, rustybladen.com, to find out more about this wonderful Indiegogo project that he has to start getting funds raised for the new albums that are coming out, right?
Right. I've released 7 albums on my own so far, with just money from the tip jar and everything else.
That's pretty good.
And now, thanks to these programs like Indiegogo,
yes, they're wonderful.
You can offer your fans incentives to help you, with donations anywhere from $10, and you get a copy, an advance copy, or all the way up to $2,000, where I write them a song and record, let them go to the recording studio with me.
That is amazing. So if you want to have a song written for you, make a $2K contribution to Rusty Bladen's Indiegogo fund, and that is a wonderful way to do it. The song Ride That River, by the way, you recorded with John Mellencamp, which is pretty cool, band members. It's in the movie Madison on the soundtrack, and I remember hearing it, and you've got all kinds of stars who were involved with that, so you've kind of made it to the upper levels now.
Well, I mean, small fish in a big pond.
That's good. That's great. And Rusty's got some great music. You want to start us out with a tune?
Sure.
What do you want to start with?
This is a song I wrote with a friend of mine, Chuck Barnes. It's called Walk Alone.
Love it.
Walk Alone.
Love it. Rusty Bladen.
Red sun going down over my shoulder, blue moon rising in a summer sky. How long will I walk this road, going nowhere? Blackbird singing on a telephone line, keep on shining, shining proud. I'm feeling better. Now I'm on a roll. I had to take some chances. I'm gonna make it home when I walk alone. Silver lining behind a cloud. I keep on shining, shining proud. I'm feeling better. Now I'm on a roll. I had to take some chances. I'm gonna make it home. I'm gonna take my chances. I'm gonna make it home, yeah. When I walk alone, when I walk alone, when I walk alone.
Rusty Blatant, ladies and gentlemen, now on Crescent Hill Radio, which is exactly what I am putting on my Facebook post. Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Tara.
I love that. I love this guy's
Very
music,
good.
Sharon. Isn't
Absolutely,
he wonderful?
Absolutely.
Hey, it is so good to see you again.
Good seeing you.
Goodness gracious, how many years has it been since we actually ran into each other?
Oh, I'd say probably 8 or 10.
10 years.
At
And you don't
least,
look
yeah.
a bit different. You don't look like you've aged any.
Oh, well, thank you. You too.
I hate you. No. You look fantastic. You know, unfortunately, we're brought together by a tragedy. And we can talk about, you know, all of the things that happen in the world every day, and we can say, thank you that it's not us. But this one really touched me just because I used to sing in Glee Club. I had a long history of musical performance in my life, and I absolutely loved the show Glee and still watch it. And we got news over the weekend that its star, Corey Monteith, who is a young man of 31 years of age, was found dead in his hotel room. And this has provoked a tremendous amount of conversation on Facebook and elsewhere about what to tell children who have a hero die. And of course, we all remember what happened when Kurt Cobain passed away. There was a huge uproar in the musical community, and we often say that folks who pass away become saints or become martyrs. And, you know, some of them are deserving and some of them are not, but it doesn't matter because the grief that is expressed by the children who admire these people is very, very real. And you have talked about this book, When Children Grieve, which was written by the daughter of Michael Landon.
Well, she contributed it.
Yeah.
It's actually by
John
two other
James
bands.
and Russell Friedman
Right.
and with Dr. Leslie Landon Matthews. So talk to us just a little bit, Sharon, about your particular area of expertise in dealing with children who are grieving.
Okay, to really go into the expertise, I actually focused on breast cancer because, first of all, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and then so many people are not real familiar on how to talk to children about it.
Absolutely.
And so almost 20 years ago, we started our organization, and then we started working with young people 18 years ago, and they wanted to know how to communicate. And a group of 11-year-olds started our program, and they were Girl Scouts working on an award.
And what was this group called?
The Wow Girls.
The Wow Girls. I love that. So all of them had been touched by breast cancer in some way or another with their families?
They, several of them had, not
Yes.
all of them, but what they shared at first, well, it's interesting. When we first went in, nobody wanted to talk. Their heads were down, and you thought, well, they're not listening.
Yes.
Well, come to find out they were listening to every word that was being said.
Amazing.
And afterwards, after we met and had our focus group, I left thinking, oh, well, this is dead. They're not going to want to do anything.
Aw.
But come to find out, the leader said, no, they really want to, and they want to not only work with you and be part of the WOW program, well, not at that time, it wasn't even the WOW program. They wanted to be part of the program.
Yes.
And it was through a Girl Scout program that they had a box that it had to do with growing up female.
Yes.
And then they turned around and they named the WOW program.
Isn't that amazing?
Which was Women Offering Wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting part about it was intergenerational, so the kids were teaching everyone.
Yes.
Girls and adults. And grief was a big part of that.
I
And
bet.
how do you talk about it? Because the first thing that you recognize is nobody wants to talk about death.
Yes.
And yet with a cancer diagnosis, the first thing you think of is death.
Absolutely.
So it was a very interesting process that we went through with these girls. And they created a video. They started a magazine. They wrote a book. I mean, these girls, the beginning girls, stayed with the program until they graduated from high school. So they were with it 8 years.
Well, you know, there are so many grief and loss issues that we can't even begin to enumerate them all in a short interview. But generally, death, moving, relocating your home, family issues that occur, medical issues that occur, and just a giant plethora of miscellaneous issues, which could include being bullied, failing in school, having to care for an ill parent, having a family merge with another family, losing pets. All of those different things are grief and loss issues. And to deal with grief and loss is quite a process, which we have found out. It's not something that just happens and you're over it.
Well, and the interesting part, and we'll go back to losing someone that you idolized, because
Yes.
I know in my era it was Ricky Nelson.
Absolutely.
If anybody out there is
Sure, we
that
know
age.
Ricky Nelson,
Yeah.
and that was a huge loss for a lot of people.
And again, the possibility of that drug relation, and the same thing with Corey.
Yes.
And the fact that they followed him going through rehab, were cheering for him, hoping that was the case,
Yes.
and watching that. But depending on the age, the younger they are, they say they're resilient, but if you don't talk with them and discuss it with them, I use the analogy that I was taught when I took the grief recovery certification.
Yes.
About a cat. And if anybody's familiar with cats, if they get the fur balls, what happens? They're going to be sick.
Yes.
And they have to get rid of it one way or another. And if those fur balls build up,
It kills them.
it kills them.
Absolutely.
And the same thing can happen with grief issues, because there's over 50. And when children go through, the loss of a goldfish.
It can be traumatic.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It may be momentarily because they move on to something else, but if it's not talked about, it can come up later.
Well, and as a very close friend of mine who knows this experience well says, those who grieve well live well.
Exactly.
And that happens to be Mary Beams, who is a wonderful grief and loss specialist, and she deals with a lot of people who are dealing with traumatic and other grief and loss issues. And she says if you keep that inside, the emotional pain builds up, stays inside you, and actually just causes your whole soul to shut down. So that's why it's important to talk about it.
Exactly. And like I said, just because they're small does not mean they're not grieving.
That's right.
Because everyone grieves at 100%. And how can we know what that is for each person unless we allow them to express themselves and get those out. Get it out while it's fresh.
Yes, and we know that every child and every adult needs a safe place and a safe person to do grief work. So describe for us briefly what the grief work is that a child would need to do to deal with the death of a family member. That's a critical one.
Again, depending on their age,
Yes.
but they have to start by acknowledging it.
Right.
And then they have to work through, there's different stages, but one of the biggies is the fact that they feel guilt.
Yes.
It could be their fault.
Yes.
And you have to assure them that they're not that powerful, that they
right.
did not make that happen. And there's so many other areas of that, but you've got the hopelessness that they feel.
Yes.
And they've got to be able to share it in some way. And lots of times maybe they won't talk, because a lot of our girls, they didn't want to talk, but they wrote.
Oh, isn't that
And that's
interesting?
how-
So journaling for children and adults is valuable.
Exactly. And if they're real young and they don't journal, they can draw. If you have seen on TV, which I hate to use that because, you think that a lot of things on TV aren't true, but if they have a traumatic experience when they're not talking and they're young,
Yes.
a drawing, colors, all of that can give a lot of expression. It was real interesting, and I wish I could remember the name of the movie exactly, but it was an American Girl movie, and I was real
Aw.
interested in it.
Yes.
It was just on, and they were going to take away art and one year and then have music and flip it back and forth. And the kids decided to have a campaign, and they had a beige out. And what they did is everybody came to school in beige. Well, the principal didn't know what was going on.
No color. No art.
Exactly. She called these girls into the office, like, what is going on? And why is the media here? And she said, this is depressing. And exactly, no color.
Amazing.
And by putting it together, I mean, without art and music, our world is dull. He's a perfect example of how upbeat that music is.
Absolutely.
Very good. I enjoyed it.
So tell me, in a nutshell, in a minute or less, what do we tell our kids who are so concerned about this particular loss of this teen idol, Corey Monteith, who has been coming into their homes on the television for the last several years, living his life, his public life with his co-star as his girlfriend has also been covered heavily with teen magazines and regular media as well. What do we tell our kids who are saying, why did Corey die?
Well, plus she stood beside them. And first of all, what we have to do right now is find out and wait and see, because everybody is thinking it's drugs, and I don't know that that's been absolutely done until they finish with doing the autopsy.
That's right.
Once they do that, then they need to explain to them that, this is a tragedy, he's young, it's affected you, and then look at the child where they are with it. Like you with Glee Club,
yes,
then you're going to relate to it differently than someone who just watched the show every week. And just say, that when you're a star, things can get overwhelming and you turn to other options that may be not good for you, because it could have started for him. Maybe he couldn't sleep at night.
Absolutely.
And, first, and then ask them questions, because they need to be heard. Find out how much they want to know.
Yeah, because if they're not heard, they're going to dwell on it even more.
Exactly.
Make themselves even sicker.
So what you need to find out is how much they know, how much they're willing to share, and then you talk to them and share with them. There's a lot of myths out there about grieving. It's not for a guy. You're not a man if you cry. Well, that's wrong.
We know that's not true.
We do. But
this is the beginning of it, When Children Grieve. It's by John James and Russell Friedman with Dr. Leslie Landon Matthews, who happens to be Michael Landon's daughter, for adults to help children deal with death, divorce, pet loss, moving, and other losses, all of which are extremely important. And thank you, Sharon Cecil.
Well, let me say one thing about the book. It's it's a workbook.
Okay,
so it's good to work with somebody with it when you're doing it, because if you sit down and try to do it, there's a lot of writing.
Good idea to go to a therapist and work with her. Go to a
therapist, or they can give me a call.
They could give you a call. How do we get in touch with you, Sharon?
You can call us at We Survive, and the number is 239-4991, and that's area code 502.
Okay.
Or they can go to our website, wesurvive.org.
wesurvive.org. Wonderful.
Or they can email wesurvive.org.
Excellent. And what's the email address?
info@wesurvive.org.
Okay, good. And you can check this whole show out on YouTube after the fact. We're also going to be archived there for a period of time, so you can get that information if you missed it this time. Or you can email me at tara@crescenthillradio.com. I'll be glad to give you the information. Sharon, thank you so much for taking the time to share your expertise with us.
So
we appreciate
much.
you.
I appreciate it.
Have a wonderful day. We want to thank Meridian Acupuncture for their consistent sponsorship of Take It From Tara. If you need acupuncture or a full range of Chinese herbal medicines, they have a beautiful raw pharmacy in stock and would love to treat you. They're also offering massage and other great services at Meridian Acupuncture in St. Matthews on Wallace Avenue.
Meridian Acupuncture provides healthcare services to improve and promote the well-being of their patients and the community they serve. Meridian's vision is to educate and empower us to make healthy lifestyle choices, to understand how to heal ourselves, to prevent illness, and to recognize that health is a daily journey. Meridian's practitioners of East Asian medicine specialize in allergies to depression to menopause and much more. Trying to stay healthy, coping with stress, managing serious illness. Meridian Acupuncture is a resource. 311 Wallace Avenue in St. Matthews, 290-8788, meridianlouisville.com.
Well, I was inspired by your discussion just now. And,
yes.
Back in November, my best friend passed away.
Sorry to hear
of
that.
A heart attack on the golf course. And the way I dealt with that is I went into the shower and took a long shower and cried. And
I bet you did.
And then it wasn't long after that, I just happened to be looking up something on the internet, and I discovered this song just totally by accident. So see if you can tell me who wrote this one.
All right, let's hear it.
It's an older one.
Rusty Blatant.
It's for my friend Jack Ulrey. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. Though there are clouds in the sky. You'll get by if you smile through the pain and sorrow. Smile, and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through. If you just light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness, though if a tear may be ever so near, that's a time you must keep on trying. Smile, and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through. If you just smile.
But I don't know who wrote it.
Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin. Isn't that amazing? The silent movie actor.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, apparently, Izzy really liked that song.
She did like it.
She never stopped looking at you, and she was very alert, and her tail was beating against the music stand here. This is Izzy from Derby City Dog Rescue, along with her foster dad, Jeff Duff. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Hey, well, glad to be back.
Always glad to have you guys in, and you always bring the most precious babies, as so many of our rescues are in need. You guys do a great job. Hi, Izzy. Keeping the word going about the dogs that need to be rescued. And you take on and take in a huge number of dogs. And your foster network is a big part of the success of Derby City Dog Rescue. You want to talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah, fostering is a huge part of our success. Right now we have about 100 dogs.
Wow.
All but about 6 or 7 of those are in foster homes right now. And
they're with you, right?
No. Although my wife would probably like to try to do it. No, they're not all with me. It takes a village. But
yes, it does.
We have a few that are in boarding that we'd love to get out of boarding into homes and work on some training and things like that to get them ready for their forever homes. But yeah, fostering is a huge part of it. Probably the biggest part.
So you're looking for fosters, obviously.
Always.
Yeah, to be able to help you out, and that's a very important part of any dog rescue, is getting an established network of volunteers who are willing to take in dogs, both the ones who are perfectly adoptable coming right into the shelter and those with special medical needs. And you run into a lot of those too. Now, this little girl is starting to put some weight on, but they ran feral, you said, for 6 months.
Yeah, about 6 months. We've had them for just a little bit of time now, and I've had her about a month myself, and she was in another foster just before that.
Izzy, come here. Where are you going, little girl? Come here.
But we have her sister, her 2 brothers, and then the mom all in our rescue right now.
Wow, that is amazing. So they were just crazy on the street, running around, eating garbage, not being taken care of, not being fed.
Yeah, and look at her now.
And she's absolutely gorgeous. She looks like maybe she's a little shepherd mix.
Yeah, shepherd lab.
Shepherd lab.
Yeah.
She's going to crawl over there and see Rusty. Look at this. She's checking out your microphone, Rusty.
Yeah,
she likes that.
She's a great dog. She's lived in my house with me and my wife for about the last month, and she's absolutely fantastic. She's about 8 months old.
Well, she's very inquisitive, and she's extremely loving and very cuddly. And when she came in, she immediately put her little face in my face and kissed my chin and kissed my neck and kissed my eyes and kissed my ears.
Yes, she's a lover.
She didn't meet a stranger, which is really nice.
No, and it's she's come a long way from where she was. She was shut down a little bit when she was walking and things like that, but now she walked right in here like she owned the place and made a bunch of friends.
And a lot of that has to do with the training and the socialization that you guys are giving her, which all of the volunteer foster network gives to the animals that they have in their custody for a short period of time.
Absolutely. And then for our fosters, we pay for all the medical and stuff like that. People say they can't afford to foster, but we pay for all the medical. If you need help with food, we'll find a way to make that happen. If you can't get them to adoption events, then we try to find somebody that will help take them around. So we try to do anything we can. If your dog has some behavior problems, then we'll get you set up with a trainer. We have a forum on our Facebook page, and that all of our fosters are part of, and you can ask questions of hundreds of fosters, and we have a couple of vets on there and some training people, and it's a big support network.
It absolutely is. And tell me, when did Derby City Dog Rescue kick off?
Officially, we kicked off, I guess, the beginning of last year officially, but we've been going at it for about a couple of years now. Slowly gaining steam, but so far this year I think we've rescued 429 dogs
Just this year.
Just this
And
year.
that's one agency, Rusty.
Yeah.
That's pretty darned impressive.
And we've adopted out 115, and we sent 300 to other rescues, 314 to other rescues.
And those are not just local rescues; those are all over the country.
No, up north in Minnesota, and all up there.
Now, talk to us a little bit about the strangeness of the fact that we have so many dogs here, and so many people in the north are looking for dogs, and you guys are transporting and arranging for our rescues to be sent to the northeastern United States. What's the demand and why?
They have a lot stricter spay and neuter laws up there, and people tend to be looking for animals, things like that. Also, Metro Animal Services does a good job here. They don't charge the rescues fees to pull the dogs. So, like anything else, it takes a little bit of money to take care of these guys.
Yes, it does.
We spend on average about $300 per dog, and we adopt them out for $150 and $200. So you have to make up the difference however you can.
Yes, you do.
Because the medical cases get so expensive sometimes.
How many people are involved with Derby City Dog Rescue on the basic board level?
The basic board level, we have about 7. We have 7 people on our basic board, and then we have probably 4 or 5 other hardcore volunteers that help us run a fundraising and some events and things like that.
Wonderful. And then the volunteer network, of course, is extensive.
Yeah, it gets pretty big from there. You go to fosters and everybody else who comes out and helps us and supports us.
You guys are doing some pretty important and pretty visible fundraising.
Yes, absolutely.
When is the next event that's coming up that we can actually attend that is a part of Derby City Dog Rescue's efforts to raise funds for this wonderful organization?
We have 2 events coming up. July 20th at Studio 151.
Okay.
We have a cut-a-thon. It's on Thieneman Lane from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and you can get a wet haircut, no style, but donations and proceeds from that event will go to Derby City Dog Rescue.
Wonderful. That's Studio 151. And what part of town is that located in?
I'm not 100% sure. It's at 151 Thieneman Lane.
Okay.
But you can go to our website and get information on that, or just email us. She's going to crawl over to you.
She is. She's crawling around. She's just adorable.
Yeah, and then on August 3rd at Apocalypse Brew Works.
Yes, that's right here in Crescent Hill.
Yep, there's another benefit that part of it goes to us. The Arrow Fund, who's a great organization.
Yes,
with
they
Rebecca,
sure are.
And Alley Cat Advocates.
Wonderful. So Karen and Rebecca and you and your organizations will all share the proceeds from the Apocalypse Brew Works, and that's August what?
August 3rd.
Okay,
the doors
good.
open at 4. Music starts at 5. And all pets are welcome. Great beer, and they'll have food trucks, and the Blue Umbrellas will be playing that night along with a couple others.
Wonderful. Now, that was the site of our recent Castle Festival, which they netted a good amount of money for the Crescent Hill Radio fundraiser that they had. So good luck, and I hope that you have exactly the same
I do too,
people who turned out and who gave generously. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it all goes to the dogs. The good thing about us is that there's no paid positions. Every penny that comes in goes back to our organization and our dogs.
Absolutely.
We tend to do a lot of medical cases and things like that.
Yes, you do.
Bones and mange and you name it, we've pretty much done it.
Yeah, and I've been wondering about the little puppy that you brought in a couple months ago. I think it was Titus.
Titan.
Yep. Yes, that's right. How is his leg healed? And
he's healthy. He's ready to go, looking for his home. He's a ball of fur.
He must be growing.
He's a Spitfire. Yeah, absolutely.
He was only about 5 or 10 pounds when he came in. He was a baby.
Teensy tiny. He had that cast and he hobbled around here.
Yes.
But yeah, he's all healthy and healed up. No problem.
Fantastic. So he's ready to go home to his forever home.
And Ashley from last time, she's been adopted. She's
good.
in her home now. Yep.
Awesome. That's it's always great to hear these rewarding success stories because we hear so much about the sad things, and we hear about the overpopulation at Metro Animal Services and how hard it is to achieve a no-kill society. But it's possible once we make the commitment, and you guys are a big part of that commitment.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we have a great group of volunteers and people that work real hard to do everything we can.
You definitely do. There are a lot of other things that Derby City Dog Rescue does out in public, and one of the things that you have is a very obvious and consistent Facebook presence.
Absolutely, we have about 5,500 followers on our Facebook page that we've grown to quite an extensive thing, and we share out tons of dogs and even lost dogs and things like that. We're able to get the word out pretty quick.
Absolutely.
And then our volunteers are fantastic. We have a few dogs get away from their foster homes and go missing and have literally had 10 people show up and search for 7, 8, 9 hours.
And usually find them.
Usually found them.
Which is the really good thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes they end up at Metro, but then they're rescued. And, very few really, when you've got a dedicated search committee, you rarely have a failure.
Yeah, a couple of our dogs have become celebrities in their neighborhoods after going missing. But
well, talk to us a little bit more about Izzy, because she is absolutely adorable. For those who missed the first part of the interview, tell us about who she is, how she got to you, and if she is ready to go to her forever home.
Izzy is 100% ready to go to her forever home. She's about an 8-month-old lab mix. She's a little thin right now, but she's definitely putting on some weight. We have her along with her one sister and 3 brothers and their mom. They were picked up by LMAS as they were running feral for probably about the 6 months of their life. So she's learned to live in a house, but she loves her foster brothers and sisters, and she absolutely loves to snuggle and give kisses and everything else.
She loves to snuggle, and she's up in my lap right now, so maybe we can actually see her against my khaki and white as opposed to against the black downstairs. But she is probably one of the sweetest natured dogs that I have ever seen walk into the studio. Yeah. As I said, she didn't know a stranger.
Yeah, and she has that one ear that sticks up too that gives her a lot of character.
She's got that little personality, and she's got the sweetest face and the sweetest disposition. Yeah. What's her brother like, and what's her mom? Both of her brothers, right?
Yeah, her brothers they're a little more timid than her, but I think that they'll come out of that. The mom I haven't personally met, but I think she's doing really, really well in her foster home. Oh. All are in also in foster homes, kind of like Izzy is with us.
Are the brothers solid black as well, or are they different?
Yeah, I think they're all pretty much identical.
Isn't
solid
that
black.
Hilarious?
Yeah.
You can't even tell them apart.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Izzy, I hope that Mom and Dad find you soon, and maybe it'll be as a result of your appearance on Take It From Tara. I can only hope so, because
I hope so too.
You are a very good girl, and you deserve a forever home. And Daddy Jeff has done a wonderful job taking care of you. And Rusty, do you have a song that Izzy might like? Because she seems to be fascinated with your guitar.
She liked the last one a lot.
And your harmonica. Let's hear something that is going to be really indicative of a dog day afternoon in summer. What do you think? Good girl, Izzy. Jeff Duff from Derby City Dog Rescue and Izzy. Contact us for more information. Thanks, Jeff.
Mary Mac, dressed in black, silver buttons up and down her back, high low, the mistletoe. She broke the needle, now she can't sew. Walking the dog, just walking your dog. If you don't know how to do it, I'll show you how to walk the dog. Walking your dog, just walking your dog. Well, if you don't know how to do it, I'll show you how to walk your dog. She asked her mama for 15 cents to watch an elephant jump the fence. He jumped so high, touched the sky, didn't come back till the 4th of July. Walking the dog, just walking your dog. Well, if you don't know how to do it, I'll show you how to walk the dog. Well, if you don't know how to do it, I'll show you how to walk your dog.
That's Rusty Blatant, and that is honoring Izzy from Derby City Dog Rescue. How often can you ask somebody to do a tune and they actually come up with one that actually fits the situation? Like, sing a song about a dog.
I think almost never. I couldn't do it.
I tell you what, that is a talented musician, Rusty Blatant. Margaret Heron-Kerr joins us today, and you are the insurance agent with the mostest. I tell you what, you have been on Facebook talking about every type of insurance that I can imagine, and you're selling it to folks because we need it, obviously. We
Yes.
must have it, obviously. But there are things that we do and don't necessarily need. And I just wanted to invite you to bring your expertise to Take It From Tara today to help us determine what we actually do and don't need.
Sure, absolutely. I will tell you, the first question that I usually get from people is, what's the price? And,
Yes.
you know, that is absolutely a concern for everyone, and it's important that you find something that's competitive. But, you know, more importantly, you need to know what you're giving us the money for.
Yes, exactly.
And
what are we giving you the money for?
Well, a lot of stuff. You know, when you think about it, you know, consider homeowners insurance. You know, an average policy can be anywhere from, you know, $600-700 to $1,500, you know, a year maybe.
Amazing.
But, you know, we're insuring, you know, $100,000, $200,000. You know, what are you ever going to pay that back in your lifetime if you did have a total loss?
Sure.
So, you know, it's really a better deal than it sounds like sometimes.
Absolutely.
So, and it never sounds like a good deal until you're making a claim.
Well, you know, you're talking about so many different types of insurance, and we have to insure everything. We have to insure
right.
our bodies
We do.
with health. We have
We
to
do.
insure our homes with
Right.
renters or homeowners. We have to insure our automobiles.
Yes.
Automobile insurance has to be one of the most confusing things I have ever looked at, because you get those
Yes.
statements and it's got all the different categories of insurance. What exactly do you need? And explain liability limits to us, because that's a
Sure.
very confusing topic as well.
And I'll try to be as charming as Izzy, but I don't know if I can
I don't know if you
compete
can
with
do that,
That
Margaret.
was pretty cute.
She
but
was pretty charming.
I'll try
tell
to
you
make
what,
insurance that good.
you have
I'll do my
kittens
best.
that are also
I
charming.
do. They are really cute.
I think you're cuter than the progressive girl, though, if that
Hey,
makes any difference.
thanks.
And your husband would agree.
I think he would.
Yeah, I think he would, too.
He'd certainly better. But, you know, I will tell you, I understand why a declarations page would be confusing, because it seems like it's all written in secret code.
Yes, it is.
You know, sometimes things aren't spelled out, they're abbreviated, and, you know, maybe this will shed some light on some of those strange things on your paper.
Wonderful.
The most important part of your insurance is your bodily injury coverage.
Right.
And that is the part that will probably just say something simple like BI next to it.
Bodily
with
injury.
a number / a number. And it's not even, you know, fully put out there. Those are in hundreds of thousands, but it usually says, you know, 100 / 300.
Yes.
Now, a lot of the people will call and ask, you know, for a quote. And I'll ask them, you know, what bodily injury limit would you like me to quote you? And they say, well, I don't know. Just give me, you know, what people usually get. And that can be a very different number. You know, insurance is something that's meant to cover what you own.
Yes.
So if you're a person who has assets that are more than the amount of insurance you've got, then you're leaving yourself open to lose a lot of money if you are in a major accident.
Amazing.
You know, so the bodily injury limits are, you know, what will cover another person if you injure them with your car.
Aha.
So the first number is usually 100,000 or 250,000. Could be as low as 50,000 or 25,000, and that is the per person number.
Yes.
And then the second largest number is the one that covers all the people in the car. So if you have an accident and you have 100, 300 coverage, you got 100,000 to cover each person, up to 300,000 per accident.
Wow.
So that'll
And
tell
that's
you a
not
little
a whole
about
lot
that.
when you stop to think about it, really.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And that's probably average coverage. But, you know, consider if you're a person with a $300,000 home. If you have an accident and you injure people to the tune of $350,000, you're still liable for that other $50,000, even if the insurance company isn't going to pay for it.
Which could encroach on your home.
So it will probably encroach on your home
Wow.
unless you're keeping that in savings. You know, they can sue you for whatever you've got.
All right.
So
What's
I typically
Go
well,
ahead.
sorry, Tara.
No, go ahead.
I'm just going to tell you before you ask.
Yes, do.
I typically advise people to kind of take an account of their assets. You know, what do you keep in your savings? What do you keep in your college fund?
Okay.
What is your home worth? What are your cars worth? What other valuables do you have?
Add it up.
Add all those things together, and that will give you a guide. And then, you know, you're going to make sure that you're not going to end up upside down.
Yeah, very
if you
good.
ever are in a terrible accident, which, you know, even though I'm an insurance agent, I've totaled a car here and there, so
I
I
bet
can
you
speak
have.
from experience.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's a very important thing to me, to make sure that I'm not going to leave any of my clients hanging.
Now, there's a difference between the bodily injury and personal injury protection. That covers you, your
Yes.
body, in an accident.
It does. It covers you.
That's called the PIP.
That's right. That's PIP. And who would ever look at that on a policy and think that that was something important? I mean,
Yes.
you know, PIP says small and
Yes.
little. And
This is critical.
yeah, it's very critical.
Very critical.
It stands for personal injury protection. And that will typically come in increments of $10,000, and that will cover for each person in the car $10,000. You don't always know, how well covered with health insurance the people in your car are.
Right.
So if you have people in your car and you get in an accident and, say you're transporting your child's friends and someone rear ends you and they're injured, you're
stuck.
liable
Yep.
for this. You were in that accident, especially if you get really unlucky and one of those 24% of uninsured people is the one that rear-ended you.
Exactly.
So that is going to pay for that liability. So if you've got good health insurance coverage, that coverage is not going to be quite as important to you. But if you don't have a lot of health insurance coverage, it might be wise to increase the personal injury protection.
Excellent to
So
know.
that's another fascinating fact.
How long do we need to carry comprehensive and collision? Because I hear this all the time. Oh, it's time to drop the comprehensive.
Right. Well, the comprehensive is actually the one that you want to keep. That is the least expensive of the two.
Okay.
The collision coverage is what covers your car in an accident. So if you're at fault in an accident and your car is damaged, if you don't have collision, we can't help you.
Amazing.
I know. So, and then the other question people ask a lot is, what deductible should I carry? Well, I always recommend, what do you have in your savings that you could afford to put toward an accident if that happened?
Yes.
That's what you should use as a guide for your deductible. It's one of those things that it's just not standard. It's very individual. So if you're a person that's a good saver and you can keep $1,000 in your account, then raise those limits and save the money instead of giving it to your insurance company.
Good idea.
Use that for your own benefit and save some money in the meantime.
And 2 quick last questions. What happens if my car is totaled?
If your car is totaled, you want to make sure that you have enough insurance to fully cover the loss of your car.
Wow.
So, for example, if you buy a brand new car, the minute you drive off the lot, you're still liable for the full cost of that car.
Sure.
But the insurance company is going to pay you what it's worth. And even if you had an accident on the way home and that car was totaled, you're probably going to be upside down on your loan. So,
Terrifying to think about.
It's scary.
It
And
is.
usually the gap coverage you can get through your insurance company is a very good deal. It's very reasonable and it doesn't get financed into your loan. So that's something to consider.
And does car insurance cover if I have something in the car that's stolen, like something valuable?
No.
Whoa.
No, it does not.
That's why they say don't leave your valuables in your car, Kathy.
I
right?
know. It's true. Oh, please, Kathy, don't leave your valuables in your car.
Not like she would,
No,
ever.
no. No one go look in Kathy's car.
No, do not look in Kathy's car. But that's scary to know because
It
you'd
is.
think that it was part of the deal.
You would, but
No.
it's not. That is why you have homeowners and renters insurance and
Aha.
condo insurance. That will cover you anywhere in the world. So if you're traveling and you have belongings with you, that coverage, of course, minus your deductible, will cover you. And if you leave a camera in your car or a laptop and it's stolen, that is where you will be covered. So
Good.
if you're a renter and you think, I don't have any stuff, I don't
Sure you
need
do.
a renter's policy, you've got something. And I'll bet sometimes you leave it in your car.
Absolutely.
So if that's stolen, you've got nothing unless you've got a renter's policy or a homeowner's policy to cover it.
Now, do you sell all those different types of insurance
Well,
too,
of
or you just focus on
course.
cars?
I do. I sell lots of things. I sell home and auto, and I do life insurance, which is also very important to me.
Yes, it is.
Personally.
Because you have kids.
I do.
Yeah.
And I like them. And I want them to go to college. And I want them to have, a safe car to drive in if there's, no more mom to provide that income. So
God willing, that won't happen, but it's
Yeah.
always good to plan ahead.
it's always good to buy life insurance when you're thinking about it because
Yes.
you never know when your health is going to change and you can't get it.
Yes, wonderful.
But, yeah.
when can we have you back? Because we just barely scraped the surface on car insurance. And how can people reach you if they're interested in discussing further
You can
insurance
have me
needs?
back anytime you like.
Okay, good.
Always good to catch up.
Good.
And you can reach me a lot of ways. I've got a Facebook page, and you can get a quote from there. And if you just search Margaret Heron Kerr and Liberty Mutual, you'll find it. And, you can also email me at margaret.heron-kerr. I know that's long.
That's a long one.
At libertymutual.com.
Or we can call you.
Or you can call me, and that is really easy. It's 489 9671.
Easy. And if you lost any of that information, you can find it later on YouTube, or you can email me again at tara@crescenthillradio.com, and I will pass all that information on to you. But find her on Facebook, Margaret Heron Kerr. Easy to find.
Very easy.
A wealth of information.
More than you ever wanted. But you'll be glad to have it.
I loved it, and I would really like to talk more about property and life and all those other kinds of insurances at a
Absolutely.
future date, too.
I'd love to,
Thanks for
Tara.
taking the time to come in.
Thank you.
Say hi to Darren and the kids.
I will.
Wonderful.
They're
Margaret
listening, I'm
Heron
sure.
Kerr from Liberty Mutual Health Insurance. Our life insurance, every kind of insurance.
Every kind of
insurance. Rusty, you got about a minute of music while we switch these guys out. We've got one more great guest coming up after Margaret. Julie and Ben Evans are here to talk about your environmental road trip. And that all has something to do with building a new bridge, I bet. You want to do it? You want to do the tune about the brand new bridge?
Do we have time for two or just one?
Do the brand new bridge. I want to hear that.
Okay.
I don't want to miss it.
Okay.
Rusty Blatant, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we're doing a big concert in Madison on July 27th for the big bridge slide celebration. And also, this tune is available on iTunes as of next week. So, hope you like this one. We built a brand new bridge in this little old town. Ain't she a beauty, connecting common ground? It took a lot of hard work, concrete and steel, from the Indiana valleys, old Kentucky hills. We built a brand new bridge on this old highway, riding together, we're gonna cross someday. She's a bridge to the future, a key to the open road. Sooner or later, all roads lead back home. Yeah, they lead back home. She's a bridge to the future, stretching out for the world to see. Sooner or later, all roads lead back home. Yeah, they lead back home. We built a brand new bridge across the Ohio. Come on, get ready, everybody, let's go. We built a brand new bridge. She's a brand new bridge. We built a brand new bridge. We got a brand new bridge.
I love it. Brand new bridge. That is Rusty Blatant, and that's the song that he has been commissioned by the city of Madison to write for the new bridge in Madison and Milton. And talk about the event. The concert's coming up on the 27th.
The concert's coming up on the 27th, and with if everything goes right, they're going to be sliding this new bridge into place. It's a brand new technology that's never been used, where they build the bridge alongside the old bridge, and the same thing is going to happen here in Louisville, I think.
Right.
But they don't tear down the old bridge; they leave it up so they can have traffic, and then when they get everything ready, they blow up the old bridge and slide the new bridge into place on the existing piers.
Isn't that
So
amazing?
it's kind of like one of those modern marvels that...
Oh, it's going to be spectacular when it happens. Thank you, Rusty. That's a wonderful tune, and thank you for premiering it right here on Crescent Hill Radio.
Thanks for
Take it
having
from
me.
Tara, brand new bridge. Julie and Ben Evans join us, and they're famous for being the yurt brainchild comer up with.
We're the comer-uppers.
The comer-uppers.
Comer-uppers.
You came up with Yurt, and it's an awesome project. It's called Your Environmental Road Trip, and came on the show with Becca White and me a couple of years ago on Louisville Live and talked about it, and dying to hear more about what it's happening right now. Describe to us, to begin with, Julie, what and why is Yurt?
Yurt was born from a concern about the environment. We were actually actors in New York and singers, and but we both had sort of a heavy concern about what was happening. You can only recycle so much, and so many questions about what it really meant to be sustainable. And Ben and his friend Mark Dixon from, where did you guys go to college? From Stanford, had this idea in their mind about doing a road trip where they videotaped everyone sort of doing different sustainable things.
Cool.
And I didn't want to do it. and then I did.
And then you did.
We wore you down, yeah.
Yes.
How'd you do that, Ben?
It took a while. It took several months, actually. Mark and I were kind of planning it for 3 or 4 months, and then Julie realized that we were actually serious about it and we weren't just going to kind of give up on it.
Yes.
And then some things in our lives changed. We were trying to have a family, and then we went to the doctor because we weren't able to do that for some reason, and we were told, no, that's not going to happen for you. You're not able to have kids. And so that reason to not go on a trip disappeared. And then Julie had a show going on, and that closed. And so that reason to not go on the trip disappeared. And eventually there were no more reasons not to do the trip. And
so you did it.
Yeah,
so
we
she was
did
able
it.
to do it. And then, of course, wouldn't you know it, 3 months into the trip, we get pregnant. So.
Oh, my gosh. Isn't that amazing? So you pursued your dreams.
Yeah.
As Paulo Coelho would say, you pursued your personal legend.
Yeah.
And you found your peace along the way. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes. And we found just, 600 plus hours of footage, which now is a film that you can actually see.
And where are we going to get to be able to see this film?
So we're on Netflix now, and we're on iTunes and Amazon and all that good stuff. And
Just about everywhere.
Yeah, more and more. And then you can also go to the website and get it there. So we prefer the website because we end up seeing more of that actually come to us.
Yes, absolutely.
Netflix, not quite as much, but I know a lot of people like Netflix, and so we're streaming on Netflix, and that's an easy way for people to watch it. But
Very good.
go check out the website, and there's like 50 short films on the website.
Okay, give us the web address.
The web address is yurt.com. It's spelled Y-E-R-T.
Your Environmental Road Trip.
Yeah, YERT.com.
Excellent. Do you do live presentations for groups who are interested? I'm really interested in knowing if we could, call the Sierra Club and say, hey, Ben and Julie want to come and do this wonderful film.
Yes. So that's one of the big things that we do. I've been spending increasing amounts of time kind of off in different towns and cities around the country, talking to colleges and high schools and organizations who want a screening, but also want the filmmaker there to talk about the experience and to share some insights into the making of the film and things that might not be in the film about the trip itself. And
there's a great educational cut that's 60 minutes or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's gooder. Did I just say
It
gooder?
is
did say
gooder. It's
gooder.
I
like
said
a
gooder.
bringer-upper.
Bring it up, yeah.
Comer-uppers.
We're making up
For the
words on
gooder
this interview.
comer-uppers. Perfect.
Our IQ is just dropping precipitously.
What I would like to know, though, is what are some of the key things that you have identified in the film as part of your environmental road trip? What are the key catchphrases that we're going to hear, and what are the things that we need to focus on?
Yes, catchphrases will save us. No, if only it were that easy. So there are some, the big takeaways that there are a lot of things that we hear a lot about, change your light bulbs out and
Yes.
recycle more and
Yes.
conserve water and energy and all that. And those are all great. Bicycle more, that's a big one. And, but the, a lot of those things have things in common. And so we looked for what are the, at the end of the day, what are the sort of basic rules? And so they were to simplify, localize, and build community. And then there's a fourth one that's really helpful, which is to think in systems.
Aha.
So nature works in systems. Nothing lives in a vacuum.
Right.
And silos don't really exist in nature. And so, but we as human beings tend to kind of compartmentalize things. So how do we start to think the way nature thinks and view things through that lens? And that's a really helpful lens to throw on the world, is to start thinking in systems. So that was a big one too. And everybody's going to apply those guidelines to their lives in different ways. So Diet's another big one. You know, the difference between being an omnivore and a vegan is like the difference between driving a Hummer and a Prius. So.
And how have you guys adapted this to your family lifestyle, Julie?
Well, you hear a lot about the word carbon footprint, and so I guess that's something that we kind of try to keep in our mind. So we do have a Prius now, and we also try not to drive it if we can as much. So we're a one-car family, and we have bicycles that we probably take the bus a little more than we bike, but we, the water gets turned off when you brush your teeth. We recycle almost everything.
Compost a lot.
Compost. We have a big box of stuff that's going to TerraCycle, to the things that you would normally maybe throw in the garbage.
TerraCycle is this great thing that we covered in the film as well. And
Good.
More and more people know about TerraCycle, but they take kind of all the things that you can't recycle. You can send a TerraCycle, and they'll turn them into cool stuff.
Don't send them food, though.
Yeah,
no food.
No, they wouldn't like that.
And where is TerraCycle located?
They're in, of all places, Trenton, New Jersey.
So you ship it to them. You ship your garbage to a TerraCycle.
Yeah, so it's a little more. They if you go to the website, it'll explain it all. But they have sort of brigades, and so churches and schools and places where there are massive amounts of trash being generated will collect thousands and thousands of Cliff Bar wrappers or Sunkist little drink thingies, and they pay you for that. So they pay you 2 cents a wrapper or something like that.
Wow.
And so it's a fundraising tool for churches and schools.
Excellent.
And you're doing something useful with your trash. You're actually upcycling it into bags and all kinds of crazy cool stuff that they make.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you up to locally since you finished the film? Because I know you guys have a lot of different interests going on. And you're performing, I know, because I've seen you in concert.
I am performing, but as of a couple days ago, I'm probably going to be teaching at middle school, at No Middle School next year.
Well, fun. Good
I'm
for
really,
you.
really, really excited.
Oh,
That's the first
will this be music?
It will be dancing and theater.
Excellent. We need more wonderful arts teachers in the schools, and you're the best. So that's fantastic.
I'm really excited.
I'm so happy
it's
for
gonna
you.
It's going to be good.
What are you going to do to take up your time while she's teaching?
Right. I know. I have so much free time now.
Holy smoke.
So
and she gets to drive the car to work, right?
Yeah. Well,
there you go.
Hopefully neither of us.
Oh, bus.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's going to be the bus.
Very good.
So I've been working on this thing called the Green Institute, which is through the Center for Neighborhoods. They've for a long time done this thing called the Neighborhood Institute, which is a 12-week sort of community leadership education course. And just last year, we started something called the Green Institute. And it's a sort of sustainable version of that. So it's 12 weeks long, and it's about 2.5 hours on this year. It's going to be Tuesday nights at the Green Building. And,
wonderful.
And so there's about 30 people in the course usually, and they develop a project, and then they take that project back to their neighborhood at the end of the course, and they implement it. And the idea is to sort of radically sustainabilize. I'm gonna make up another new word.
Good. That's 3 made-up words for this interview.
but to
make sustainable.
Yes, make sustainable. Make neighborhoods all around the city much more resilient and sustainable quickly. Take a quantum leap forward. And then also working on things like the Bioneers Conference that happens here in the fall.
Good.
That's coming up this year. And then I have my own little projects that I do through my moniker called Be Green Creative, and that's just local filmmaking for environmental issues and projects. And so I actually just did a Kickstarter campaign for the Louisville Grows, their new People's Garden out in Portland.
Very nice.
Out in the Shawnee neighborhood.
And Solar Roadways is another project that's coming up briefly.
Yeah, that's made an appearance in the film. So there's a chapter in the film about this thing called Solar Roadways, which is this crazy cool idea. It's the idea from the film that everybody gets all excited about. And so we've decided to take that chapter and turn it into a full film itself. And the guy who's doing Solar Roadways is actually in the process of installing a working prototype in his driveway. He's gotten like $1 million practically of grant funding from the Department of Transportation.
Amazing.
And so it's a real thing that's actually happening, and he's on a mission to basically repave America with solar panels. All the roads that we have are sitting there collecting heat, but it's just going up in smoke.
Seriously.
And so now he's going to be, if we could power our world with the roads that are already industrialized anyway.
Fantastic.
We don't have to pave over Arizona. And
goodness gracious. Ben and Julie Evans, there's so much more at the website. It's yurt, YERT.com, Your Environmental Road Trip. There's a movie. There are private presentations that can be arranged. Just contact them, Ben and Julie Evans. They're on Facebook. And you can also look at Yurt. It's a wonderful way to learn about how you can help sustain the environment. Thanks, guys, for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Come back again in a few months. Let us know how the teaching job's doing and progress on the new projects.
Will do, and we'll make up a few more words.
I'd love that. That'd be be fantastic. We also want to thank AVC Security for being a wonderful long-time sponsor of Crescent Hill Radio and Take It From Tara. And AVC Security is Linda and Jim Hillenbrand. They've done a great fundraiser this year for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We appreciate them so much and would like to acknowledge them for their sponsorship of the show.
The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Man and Woman of the Year campaign is a national 10-week campaign to raise funds to help find cures for blood cancers. Candidates like Linda Herrick Hillenbrand utilize their leadership abilities and resources to conduct their own fundraising campaigns. And Linda won the Champions Award this year for her efforts. Monies raised help the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society fund blood cancer research and provide education and support services for patients and their families. LLS.org/KY for more information, 584-8490. Thank you to AVC Security's Linda and Jim Hillenbrand for their efforts to fight leukemia and lymphoma.
Our guests, our wonderful musician Rusty Blatant, who's going to be playing at the concert for the bridge, the Madison Milton Bridge at Bicentennial Park on July 27th at 7 o'clock. You can also go to rustyblatant.com for more information about his Indiegogo campaign to raise funding for his new album, and you will definitely want to enjoy his music. Also, Ben forgot to mention begreencreative.com. begreencreative.com is another way to reach Ben Evans for Yurt. And we want to thank Derby City Dog Rescue and the delightful and beautiful Izzy, who is ready to go to her forever home.
I almost took her.
I think you should. I think you should give it some serious thought. Margaret Heron Care, who is a wonderful insurance agent but has spent a tremendous amount of time today just explaining to us what insurance is all about. We're going to have her back and go farther into that. Sharon Cecil for talking about When Children Grieve, which is an important subject in the light of Corey Monteith's death, star of Glee, this weekend. And, of course, Julie and Ben Evans for Yurt, your environmental road trip. Next week, Saving Sunny will be our featured dog rescue. Remember that kicked off when the dog was thrown off the bridge into the river, and Sunny swam out and was adopted and became a standard bearer for pit bulls everywhere. So Saving Sunny and Maureen Keenan will be here. Kevin Hart is our musical guest, and some pizza fanatics who's just expanded their menu. Michelle and Alan Hertzman's food enterprises just keep on growing. Plus Linda Hillenbrand for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and Colby Helton of Meridian Acupuncture, another wonderful sponsor of Take It From Tara. We'll see you at 5 next Monday. Catch this show again on YouTube. You can see it anytime. And thanks for watching Take It From Tara. Rusty Blatant. Woo! Good job, Rusty. Thank you so much.
So much going on in this town. We're so lucky to have an expert around. But when you need advice on what's really going down, take it from Tara. With so many choices, it ain't easy. Get the bang for your buck, give your dollar a squeezy. The girl's got the answer, you better believe me. Take it from Tara. Take it from Tara. Take it from Tara. Take it from Tara.
Crescent Hill Radio.
It's 91 degrees here in Crescent Hill.